Hello, everybody. This is a wonderful return to the Apex Coalition show. I'm joined here with a panel of esteemed guests. We may have more filtering in, but as of right now, I have Kevin Kerben, who is ordering Chick-fil-A right now. If you want anything, please text him your order. Um, I'm joined, of course, also with the Matthew Lippman. I'm joined by Mr. Waters and Mr. Tate. Gentlemen, let's start with you, Kern. Kern, is your order in? Did you order your chicken sandwiches?
No, I'm still pulling up. I've got a few cars ahead of me. I logged off late, then went to the gym, and then was supposed to go get groceries, but I was a naughty boy and didn't. So now I'm smashing two or three of these spicy chicken sandwiches, and that's what I'm gonna justify as dinner.
Now, Kern, would you rather have two Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches or DeAndre Swift on a dynasty team?
All right, I don't know. I think the DeAndre Swift shit. I'm I'm kind of concerned that he might just be a turd.
Hmm.
So I
Curious.
don't know. I'm kind of I know I'm trolling Tate, but I kind of think he might be a turd. But I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, we'll see what that breakdown looks like. But he certainly could light it up in Philly.
Now, am I crazy, or was there a coalition of people that believed that Swift to the Eagles was fantastic?
Yeah, they're called people with IQs above 50.
All right, break it down for me, Mr. Waters. Explain to me how this is a good thing. To tell me what's to like about this.
Yeah, mainly the fact that he's on a good offense now, and he's still the same DeAndre Swift that he always was. I mean, we're so quick to overreact to injuries at a position that requires these guys to just go through hell and back just to be on the field. And I'm sorry that he didn't want to gnaw his own kneecaps off to the satisfaction of Dan Campbell or whatever the issue causing the rift between the two of those guys was. But I mean, you take out last season, and he's a second or third round. His contract is worthy of a second or third round startup draft capital investment, in my opinion. He's back to his Georgia days. He was just the shiftiest linebacker. I'm sorry, the shiftiest running back in college coming out in that draft class. He made so many SEC linebackers look foolish. He's never had the home run speed. That's never been contested. He's not going to be ripping off multiple runs of 40 plus yards over the course of the season. He's not Jonathan Taylor, but he will get you those 7 yard carries that other backs would turn into two or three. And he's going to have more space to work in the Eagles' offense. He's going to have more red zone opportunities. I don't know. I'm all in.
Alexander, can I just say a few things about Swift?
Please do, Lippy. Please do.
To say he doesn't break off big runs is insanity, considering the first 3 games of last year he's breaking off a 60-yard run every single game. And to talk about how 2 or 3 years ago he was a second or third round draft capital when the Lions just spent $18 million for Monty and a top 15 overall pick on another running back just to trade Swift for nothing. Pretty much says Swift is nothing.
Yeah, the Lions are famous for never having made bad personnel decisions. You're right.
Okay.
The Lions have been on point the last few years. Swift is not. Swift is not something. This sounds like the same argument we were doing for Todd Gurley, right? When the whole cartilage shit came out, and I took him in the second round of a startup draft because I was convinced he still was something.
Well, I mean that anyone could have made a mistake like that of still believing in Gurley. I mean that's just human. Let me let me say this. I am actually looking at the DeAndre Swift stats right now from last season, and obviously he missed some games. Way better than I thought they were. Way better than I thought they were. I thought this guy was turning in 8-point performances every week, and he does have some shitters, but who doesn't? Um, he actually looks pretty good.
The problem is he must have I don't know if he sent Dan Campbell's wife a really exceptional dick pic or something. I don't know what he did to that dude, but I mean fucking Waters is right. Across the board, if you look at the means and the metrics of it, he actually is exceptional. He is awesome. But the risk is there's some weird issue where Dan Campbell just threw him off the team, drafted a guy with the top 12 pick, and he gets hurt a
After
lot.
signing
So
David Montgomery. So I have zero problem with DeAndre Swift because he is off the Lions. I don't like running backs on the Lions ever again for the rest of time after carry on. But the other team that I never want a running back to be on is the Eagles. So that's where my holdup is. I guess my question for you, Mr. Waters, is, there have been a lot of running backs that have seemed to have exceptional skills or high capital or really tremendous upside, and none of them end up doing anything. And that is so narrative driven. I guess convince me that I'm being stupid in saying I don't want to trust an Eagles running back.
2 words: Miles Sanders. I mean,
see that's what I'm talking about. I hate Miles Sanders. I hated him on the Eagles. I never wanted him on any of my teams. It seemed like such a crapshoot.
A crapshoot in the sense that the one healthy year that he played with Jalen Hurts as the starter, he was a top 10 running back pretty consistently every week last year. I mean, you want players on good offenses. The Eagles have the best offense. The math isn't really that hard. I mean, Jalen's going to steal a lot of goal line touchdowns. Same story as Cam Newton in the 2010s and Josh Allen present day, but we didn't let that.
Sanders was a top 10 running back 4 times last year. We had 17 weeks, 17 games.
Sorry, I misspoke. He was a top 10 running back overall, I think, and he turned in consistent, relatively consistent RB1 performances. Not mistaken. I mean, I don't think that he had below
5 RB1 performances.
Yeah, I think that's probably top 10 in the league, isn't it? I mean, there aren't that many RB1 performances.
Yeah, there's normally about 12 every week. But no, I get what you're saying, and I'm looking at his stats now, and there's some really great performances because I mean, you're absolutely right. There's not. I mean, I think more so than the Chiefs. I think you want pieces of this offense, and there are some really good performances, and then there's just, as a Devontae Smith owner, last year I experienced this. There's a lot of dud weeks. There's 5-point weeks. There's multiple 5-point weeks. There's 3-point weeks. There's a 0.9-point week. There's lots of shitty weeks in there, and that's just the way it's going to go. Sometimes it's just going to be Jalen Hurts. Sometimes it's just going to be Hurts and AJ Brown. Sometimes it's everybody. Sometimes it's going to be Dallas Goedert. But
well, I mean, you're going to get terrible weeks out of anybody that you draft with the same draft capital it would require to have gotten Miles last year. I mean, you could have gotten him in the 6th round in a lot of drafts, competitive drafts.
Yeah.
And this year, I don't think Swift is going to go particularly high if Rashad Penny sticks on the roster through training camp.
That's where I disagree. I think this name brand and everything in redraft and in Dynasty, if you try to go out and trade for DeAndre Swift straight up right now, if I try to go up to you and fuckfest and get DeAndre Swift, you're going to fucking try to suck all my coins away. I mean, and I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go really high just with his name brand value. If he was going Miles Sanders pricing, I could probably be all over it. But that's what I think this time in August or September and redraft, he's going to be a top 3 round pick. Which at that point, I'm probably. I tend to think so. I think all the hype's going to be there with this fucking DeAndre Swift name brand, Eagles offense. I think that he's going to go pretty high, especially in our auction draft. I think he'll go for a whole lot of coin, but I don't know, maybe not.
You might be right. He might get the Super Bowl bump with just casuals thinking Eagles equal good. And at round 3 draft capital, I'd be firmly out. But yeah, I mean, I
There's
don't know
no
if
way
that's
he's going to fall to round
Yeah.
6. Like, I just can't see DeAndre Swift.
He went round 6 in our last startup that we did when he was still on the Lions. So he's for sure going to go higher than that.
Yeah.
So let me make this a little bit more tangible, Mr. Waters, if you will. So our good friend, Mr. Tate, who's here with us now, just as we were just discussing, traded DeAndre Swift to move up 4 spots in the first of this rookie draft, and you can't forget this, 4 spots in the second. Where
you cannot. Thank you for including that. I really appreciate that.
Hey, I mean, facts are facts. So let me ask you, Mr. Waters, you're a big believer in Swift. Do you think that is appropriate, or do you think that's an absolute scam?
I was mostly just ridiculing Tate for just completely unrelated personal reasons. I think it's a fine trade. I am the biggest Anthony Richardson fan. I don't even think his mom likes him nearly as much as I do. And I think Tate may actually be the only person who likes him as a player better than I do, to be honest. So, no, I think it's great. I think it's a super risky move considering that this is a weird rookie draft where we can basically burn a 2023 first to secure the rights to a 2024 prospect.
Or 25 or 26, any year, just as long as they're in college.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
So sick.
Seriously,
you can't
like
burn it.
NFL mock.
I've got tons of offers right now to move into the back of the first right now. Just I don't know if any sharps are going to turn me down, but I've got like a handful of seconds and firsts to move up.
Let me just say, you can't do that with the 2024 first if you spent that on a player that's definitely going to come back from injury stronger than ever in Michael Thomas. Sometimes you make gambles like that, and you couldn't do the thing where you reserve the right to draft someone next year.
Right.
It's possible that factored in here.
Is this the league where you took Michael Thomas off my hands? Or no, you took it from somebody else. You took that contract from somebody else.
Took him.
Right? That's right.
I took him from Alexander.
That's right.
No.
Right. Alexander, you told me Bateman, I believe. Bateman's contract.
Yeah.
Wow, Michael Thomas for a 24 first. Wow.
A steal, people are saying.
Some people would call it that. So, I guess this is a Curd question because of the bloodline. Because everyone watches this show for news and updates, Curd. When is the Fuckfest draft starting?
Yeah, can you get Hoot to start it now?
I have sent him so many DMs and gifts and all kinds of stuff, and he's just on his little high horse going, I'm just not doing anything. So I've just got to wait until he's ready. He moves at his own pace.
Why have a league called the Fuckfest if we can't just draft?
So I do think holding free agency until our draft actually kind of works. I kind of like that, and then opening it up all at once. You disagree? I kind of like it because then when everyone has their new budgets, it's all of the undrafted rookies and all of the moves from free agency. I kind of like that. I can also see just opening it up right after the Super Bowl. But I'm agreeable to this system. And I'll say this, I am not agreeable. I mean, it's been, 70 hours since the draft was over? This is honestly unacceptable by King Hoot. But we have the man on the line right now who traded away the 101 in Fuckfest. Lippy, this is your chance to have it cemented on the airwaves of the YouTube radio. Talk us through that trade.
I really didn't want to draft Bijan as much as I said I did. I was probably going to take Anthony Richardson. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I was on the phone with you the night before I accepted that trade from Jay Pauley, and I said I wanted the 105 and another future first from Kingu.
Yep.
And then I got done with my game yesterday, and all I saw in my inbox, Ken Walker in the 106. I couldn't not accept it. It was that simple.
Now, I think that that's a great trade. I guess what you would label me as, I know what Jack would label me as, is a Bijan hater. I guess someone try and sell me on how good this guy is. Because I watched some Texas games this year. I almost never watched college football. I watched multiple Texas games this year, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good running back, but I mean, he's played against Texas Tech. I guess someone try and sell me on why this is the player of the running back era. So someone try and sell me on that.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. I moved from my car to the
Ooh.
upstairs at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
For sure, Kern.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed everything you said.
Kurt, what
just so you
What you say too.
Kurt, what I'm asking is, sell me on Bijan. Sell me on Bijan as the 101.
I mean, just look at the stats of running backs who are drafted like in the top 10 or top 12 or top, just it's fantastic. I mean, I think that he's generational. I think you subscribe to it, and I think when he starts getting the elite usage and he starts breaking off like 60-yard touchdowns every other week in the receiving game and in the rushing game, his value is going to go through the fucking roof. And all those running backs.
Yeah. It's easier than that though. Just look at the running backs in the league right now. You got if you were to make a list right now of the top running backs in Dynasty, you're gonna put JT up there. You're gonna put Brees,
CMC,
or CMC, Saquon, maybe ETN. But would you rather have Bijan or ETN?
ETN.
Wow, really?
What? Oh no, not at all. Not even close.
That's
no chance.
Not in a dynasty league, but in a redraft, yeah, absolutely.
No,
not even in redraft.
No.
Gentlemen, that's what I.
You're just a Bijan hater, like you said.
That's what I said. I mean,
I don't think there's any convincing you if that's how you feel.
I mean,
enough. Hold on. Just something. You said you were watching Houston games, or you were watching Texans games.
I was watching Texas.
What did you see?
Texas Longhorns. I'm I watched.
What did you see? What did you see that you didn't like?
Kurt, it's what I didn't see. It's what I didn't see, Kurt.
Dude, he fucked shit up every week.
No, he didn't.
Royal. Yes.
I was bored watching
ETN versus Bijan bet.
I'm not betting on it. I'm simply.
Enough. Let's bet on it.
No.
Let's do a quick bet.
No, I'm done betting on the NFL this year. I placed my bet on the Texans hitting the over on their wins. That's
the second least wins in the NFL.
But this very well could be I know that everyone is saying this guy's Jesus Christ our Lord, but I am firmly in the camp that it seems way overhyped. When I was watching, I'm not saying he's bad. I think that's a good running back. I was never holy shit, this guy is.
Let's put it this way.
What?
Let's put it this way. JT fucked shit up in college, and he was really hyped up. And he went in the second round.
Kurt, I know all about JT. I owned him last year.
This motherfucker went off, and he got picked in the top 8 of the NFL drafts.
Kurt,
you just don't think about it. You just do not. You don't put any thought behind it.
Kurt, Jahmyr Gibbs got picked to 12? Is he a generational talent?
That was just absurd.
Is he a generational talent?
I'm sold. Yes, he is my top 5
really?
guys to respect. Yes,
100%. Like in redraft, where do you have him?
In redraft, I haven't thought about it, but all I know is in Dynasty, I would take him over ETN. I would take him over Kenneth Walker. I would take him over Javonte Williams.
Kern, just think about Apex. How much would you spend on Gibbs at least right now? I mean, I'd at least spend 30 in a heartbeat.
Oh, God, I'm giving. Well, right now I would bid up to $50 on Gibbs.
What?
Dude, like I'm
That's
not going to
steep.
overthink.
They
That's
just
steep.
signed David Montgomery to gobs
That
of money.
does not matter. First off, it was not gobs of money, and second of all, I don't give a fuck about the guy who's going to get 15 to 20 carries between the 20s. I want the fucking elite weapon who's going to be utilized all over the field in the receiving game. He's
I
going
remember
to
when
be
people said that about Jamal Williams last year.
Guys, that's crazy talk, Kern. I know I have a bad track record of really undervaluing rookies.
I'm curious what Tate and Waters think. What do y'all think about Jahmyr Gibbs?
Waters is an really
Yeah, you'll have to settle for me till Andy gets back with the super hot takes. But I like Gibbs a lot. I liked him a lot at Alabama. I never saw him going that early in the draft. And so when he did, it was one of, like you're saying, it just kind of affirms the belief of like, oh yeah, this is about to be. They're going to use the hell out of him. Like they clearly want him to be what Swift wasn't in their eyes. And I think the Montgomery thing was just, it seems like they want two different kinds of running backs there. And I think the Montgomery thing was also kind of insurance for if the draft didn't play out the way they wanted it to. But yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't really given thought to like in terms of where I would want him versus other guys. But I mean, he and Etienne are like neck and neck in my mind, just right now, sight unseen. That's where I would be at with it.
So
that's fair. I'll take that.
So let me ask a quick little cue here. So I just want to know if it's possible. Okay, I'm not presenting absolutes. I just want y'all to tell me if you think it's possible. I think it's possible that the team has just whiffed on first round offensive talent for I don't know how many years in a row. Might have gotten this one wrong too, as this is now their third shot at a running back that's going to change the fantasy landscape. Is that remotely possible?
It's always possible.
Okay, well, I mean, so that's what I kind of think has happened is that these absolute clowns in Detroit have a good running back in Gibbs, a good player, a good running back. But 12th overall is ridiculous. Like that's like Curran. When Henry Ruggs got drafted 7th overall, you weren't thinking, "Oh my God, the capital here. This is just an exceptional player who's just going to revolutionize the wide receiver position." And that's 5 picks higher in the first round.
And this is why you have the brain of a like old stale bag of Subway chips. Look, listen. The difference between
Sun Chips Harvest Better.
Yeah,
the stale and shitty and covered in F.
Oh yeah, sorry, ANF. No.
In the real life NFL ANF, lots of teams put a lot of heavy draft capital into true NFL talents that have no fantasy implications.
What were they doing when they drafted Eric Ebron then? They put lots of capital into lots of
players,
and they fucking suck.
That's an entirely different regime than this.
You cannot... It's an entirely different regime. It's an entirely different prospect. Kerryon Johnson was not the prospect that fucking Jahmyr Gibbs was. Kerryon Johnson like came out of nowhere and moved up draft boards and got picked up. Like he wasn't Jahmyr Gibbs has been a historical prospect for multiple years now.
What was wrong with DeAndre Swift that they wanted to trade him away and start with a different running back? Like, I have no confidence in their ability. I'm sorry.
Aren't you down on Swift though? So how do you reconcile them getting that right by choosing to ship him out versus they absolutely got it wrong? By drafting
my thought is this: is that the ship is at sea and the wheel is steering by itself and no one's at the wheel. Everyone like there's a chicken running around without its head, and the lions are the lions.
Just think, all right, but look. Here's all you need to know in terms of value and insulated value at running back, and what he's going to do year one, and how it's going to carry forward with his value overall. Just think about the offense itself. who do you have? You have Amon-Ra, and you have David Montgomery now. Jameson Williams is fucking suspended again. They're going to have to pass the ball a lot.
Objection! It's his first suspension.
He's suspended
Look.
again.
Suspended. I don't know. Like, I feel like he hasn't been fucking playing.
This
Sorry, but
ne'er
look.
do well just can't stop getting suspended.
He's been suspended for gambling so many times.
What is this, the 5th year in a row?
Walters, I drink a lot of pre-workout. You're fucking up my damn fucking point score right now. Let me speak, all right? This is my fucking soapbox, all right? Listen, all I'm saying is that does anyone think it's possible that this guy catches 80 balls year one?
No.
I think he could do Alvin Kamara shit.
Not at
I think
all.
He'll be just fine. You don't think he's gonna catch?
Like,
you don't think it's possible for him to
No.
fucking get just
80 receptions? No.
You don't think that's possible?
I don't think it's possible.
Where are they gonna? Well, where's Jared Goff gonna pass to?
Into the fucking dirt.
Riddle me that. He's gonna throw it into the dirt because Jared Goff sucks, right?
Yes.
He did terrible last year. His stats last year dictate just take
Karen,
the target.
I'm saying other people are gonna I'm not predicting amazing things from the Lions. Secondly, this talk that you're doing right now is exactly why Fonzie 42069 just picked him second in the rookie draft over Richardson, Young, and Stroud.
Well, who is Fonzie?
I'm not saying that.
Who is Fonzie?
He's the guy from the 50s show. Hey, with the snaps.
Henry Winkler's finest, baby.
Look,
But, like-
I gotta eat my Chick-fil-A. But look, someone with a brain. Look, Walters, Tape, Lippy, someone just. I'm not saying he's going to be like a top 2 running back, but like you have to be bought in on Gibbs at this point, and you know from a reception perspective, he's going to snack, and that's where you want the value. You want receptions, you want high efficiency touches. He's going to get all of it, or he's going to get every single fucking opportunity to get it.
Kurt, but before you eat your chicken, what's his floor? What's his floor?
His floor is really fucking high, and he's going to catch passes all fucking game.
What's his floor? Give me a number, Kurt.
I don't fucking know.
Give me a number, Kurt.
He'll be an RB. I think he'll be an RB2.
I mean, he could be an RB2.
I think he'll be a top 24 back. I'll take that. He's young.
Yeah, he could finish as a top 24 running back. That's pretty easy to do.
If he catches between 60 and 80 balls this year, regardless of what he does on a rushing perspective, he's going to be fucking fine. That's his rookie year. I don't know. I think you're missing the mark here, A&F.
I think I'm just fine being the guy that misses the mark on that. I think that's
all right. A&F.
Wait, so you're out on Swift and Gibbs?
That's right.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's get some quality clips from A&F. A&F. What redraft? All right. Let's think of running backs. All right.
Yeah,
all right. Hold on. Fuck. Let's see. Oh God, who's a good one?
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery or Gibbs?
Don't tempt me.
You think it's close? You think it's close?
Oh. Yeah, I think it's close.
You get out of here. A&F.
I really like David Montgomery, guys.
You go right home.
I like David Montgomery. All right, give me a different one, though. That one's not fair. That one's not fair.
Giga Chad White. No running back drafted in the entire NFL draft.
I'd much rather have Rashad White this year.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I can't get over
the wheel.
I can't get over the allegation that the David Montgomery question was unfair. Literally, will he lead his own backfield? Not even RB24 or up. Just will he lead his own backfield? Had you crying foul?
Can't do it. You can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not fair.
You're making this chicken sandwich taste so fucking private.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
I think Gibbs is good. I don't like his landing spot. It's unfortunate. I guess we'll see on that one. But my question to I guess from a redraft and a dynasty perspective, I would love for someone to shed some light on these top 3 quarterbacks that have gone in the Apex Empire League. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, unless we have some real weird stuff going on, those are going to be the top 3 rookie quarterbacks in every league, be it redraft, which they probably won't get drafted as much, or dynasty. So, does anyone have any really strong opinions?
I think Andy and Tate love Mr. Robinson.
Old Richard.
Waters is growling at the opportunity to tell you his take.
Oh, can y'all hear this dog?
Yeah, I thought it was a dog. I didn't think it was Mr. Waters.
I thought you were
I
getting.
thought that was Andy really turned on. Yeah, I thought he was turned on by the QB class. I didn't know.
Like I thought you were starting to like growl and get like primitive talking about AR-15.
David Montgomery really gets me going.
Yeah, that wasn't a fair question for you.
Right.
That's the most heinous take I've heard in like months. That is so heinous. That is the most dog shit thing you've ever said.
All I'm saying is this is a system that loves
so
the second RB. That's all I want to say.
System.
Wait. So A&F, since rookie quarterbacks got brought, I didn't want to go further and accidentally forget this. Could you explain to me the Will Levis at 6.10 in the startup draft we just got done with? Yes. That's a little tough for me to comprehend.
Well, you see, he fell really far.
Yeah, 6 whole rounds.
Let me look at my
same round as Swift went, incidentally. So both of those guys were steals.
Well,
how do you how do you guys feel about Lance? Screw the rookie quarterbacks. What about Lance this year?
Yeah, I think Wentz has a really good shot at landing on a roster at some point, like after injuries have taken their toll. Week 4, week 5, maybe.
But is he actually? What would you trade him for right now, Mr. Tate?
What would I trade Carson Wentz for? Probably like a 2025 fourth.
What about Trey Lance?
Why were we talking about Trey Lance versus Carson Wentz?
I was gonna say I can't answer the Trey because I have so much of his contract everywhere that if I say what the asking price would be and it's too low, I'm going to get peppered with the worst trade offers I've ever seen. So I'm not sure how far into it I can get.
I mean, I just gave him away for the 107, sir, and the 204.
I like that deal.
Yeah, no,
that's pretty fair.
Did that? Yeah, I don't hate that.
I feel like it's right on par for kind of what you'd be asking for him right now.
Another league.
I think it would be.
Cheating. Tate's in it, actually, so I can take that back. I flipped the 1.11, I think, so the 11th pick in the first round, and then before draft order was determined, but late in the season, so I knew it was a late first and an early second for Deshaun's contract in a Superflex league. And I was just revisiting that earlier today, like right before you made that trade, Lippy, and I was sitting there thinking, like, I don't know if I were sitting on the board, at 1.11 or whatever, and I don't think I would pass up the opportunity to get out of that and the 2.01 for Deshaun's contract. And Deshaun is, 4 years older than Lance, and
Deshaun, I mean, that's an easy yes for Deshaun. I feel like people are low on him after last year.
Yeah, I agree, but what I'm saying is, I think Lance theoretically is a higher value contract, and you got him for basically the same price. And I was sitting there thinking, Deshaun's, I think is a pretty good move, but Lance, arguably could be he could be an MVP candidate there for the next 10 years. I know I'm crazy, but I like Lance a lot. So I like that move.
All right. We just had Mr. Leahy join the call.
Wow. Mr. Leahy!
Howdy, people. Everyone enjoying a nice drink tonight?
Yes, Mr. Leahy.
Did you end up calling the hotline with Otter earlier, sir?
No, man, Otter got back on. He got back on the liquor, man. He jumped in that micro stakes game instead of jumping on a call at the gambling hotline.
Mr. Leahy, well, while we've got you here, as an unbiased source, talk us through where you think, either in Dynasty or Redraft, your choice. What are your thoughts on the fantasy prospects of Will Levis?
All right, to be honest with you, I really didn't know who he was until maybe a week before the draft.
Well, let me just.
I might be a little bit too unbiased for that question.
You don't have enough bias.
Yeah, I need to introduce some bias.
Well, what I was asked a question just a few minutes ago. I took him in the 6th round of a startup to just take a shot on a little rookie fella. Obviously,
you took him in the 6th round of a startup.
Yeah.
That was probably dumb.
That's the reaction I wanted.
It's a super flex. You need quarterbacks.
It was before we knew. The
that was fucking retarded. That was fucking retarded. If I hadn't heard of the fucking guy, then why would you take him in the 6th round?
Well, there's a lot of guys you haven't heard of. We could fill up a book with that.
Wasn't Jordan Love still on the board?
There were so many other quarterbacks still on the board.
Love
it's actually really great to look at.
Let's pull the big board.
Let me pull it up. Don't say that. That was.
It's actually incredible how many quarterbacks you managed to take him over.
No, don't say that. Because I did this with Mac Jones last year.
Okay,
Will Levis.
I took him
ahead of Jared Goff, Daniel Jones,
Danny Dimes, Kirk, Russ, Carr. Love went in the 10th.
Gino and Brock Purdy.
Mac Jones went in the 13th, A&F. Well, I'm surprised you didn't get it.
You're a fucking idiot, man.
It's illegal I can't take Mac Jones ever again in any league, just because I can't handle the ridicule. So,
the good news is that now that'll be Levis going forward.
See, now maybe I'm allowed to take Mac Jones again.
Buy high, sell low, baby.
Yep, that's the way you do it. Let's see here. Okay, I mean, look, people, there are a lot of folks saying this fucker could go first overall, according to various league sources. So, I think this hate's a little unnecessary, but it's definitely warranted because, oh man,
dude, did you even buy the super draft kit, ultimate draft kit?
Oh, I actually,
did you even fucking buy it?
I actually have not bought that, so that's
Kern already bought it.
Yeah, well, I bet Kern buys it every year. So,
we got our own draft. We have our own draft guide, which I fill you in myself when you call me. The Hunter draft guide is to call Kern the day of the draft and say, so Kern, who should I take with this pick?
So,
all right, Kern. Sorry, I was talking shit. Who should I take here?
I don't think we've gotten nearly enough Hunter time on the pod, because the only interaction that I remember culminated in him picking Julio as the pick of the mock draft that we did last year. And that told me all I needed to know about how much more time I need to spend with Hunter.
It was. It turned out not to be a great pick. But so, while we've got you here, Hunter, let me ask for and of course, resident Titans delusionist, Mr. Waters could jump in too. Give me a win projection total for the Titans this year.
Shit, I don't know. What does Vegas have us at?
That's a good question. Let me look that up.
Hunter, we're not asking for Vegas. We're asking for Hunter.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, fuck. I mean, we'll probably be worse than last year. Like, we ended the season looking like complete shit. I'd probably say like 6 wins.
7.5's the line.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under. I don't think this is our year.
7.5. Oh my god,
It is pretty high.
oh, it was low.
I knew that's what
This
your
is-
reaction was.
Dude, the Titans.
This is a Mike Vrabel fucking team.
Yeah.
Pardon my French, but
Oh, and you're getting plus money for over 7.5.
oh my god.
What the fuck is the team going to do? I mean, what?
Who does the AFC South play this
quarterback? I mean,
Who did they have left 2 years ago? They literally had no one. They had Deontay Foreman running into Ben Jones' ass 25 times a game. Number 1 seed, bitch.
So, I think the Titans might finish last in the division. That's actually my projection. I think the Titans are fucking horrible.
no, I mean, that's the only team worse than the Titans are the Texans.
Incorrect, my friends. Incorrect.
No,
First of all, it might surprise you. The win projections are within 2 wins of each other.
Alexander, the Texans is the second lowest in the league.
Yeah, the Titans are right there with us. Look, we're talking about the AFC South, all right? We can't we're not talking about the rest of the league. It's one division compared to another, guys. All right, let's get that straight right now. But in all seriousness, I'm not going to make this bet with you, Hunter, because I just made it to Vegas. But the Texans are going to have more wins than the Titans. And
Didn't we make this bet last year and you still haven't paid up yet?
no, I think it was wins and we pushed because the Texans beat the Titans. So we split the series and it pushed.
Was it a series or was it overall record?
No, I'm pretty sure, dude. There's no way I took overall record last year. I'm pretty sure it was head to head and it pushed because we split. Because we won
I don't know about
fucking.
that. I don't know.
No, I did not bet that the Texans were going to win more games than the Titans last year.
Dude, you're talking about betting that right now, and y'all suck even worse.
I'll bet
All right.
anyone's house on the Titans over.
Wait, okay. I'll bet Kern's house on the under.
You got a deal.
You're not betting Frank's house on anything, Alex.
Oh, I could do that to
Frank
Frank.
will be very upset with you.
Yeah.
You need to meet Pinky. Pinky's an exceptional beast.
I mean, that's...
Listen, we're getting Kyle Phillips back, healthy. We're getting Nick Westbrook-Akina back, team-friendly deal.
Team-friendly
We're getting
deal.
We're getting Racy McMath back, futures.
That's a real player.
The Texans got Robert Woods, though.
Yes, that's
Hey,
a
y'all
locker room leader.
And
That's addition by subtraction twice over.
And y'all got Tajay Spears.
We've got an inside man. Yeah, we got we're not even talking Tajay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tajay.
We're not even talking Tajay?
Look,
No way.
Derrick Henry was the first Tajay.
Hey, Alexander, you can't actually be happy about the Texans not having their own 2024 first.
it's the price of doing business. I love the trade.
That's going to be a top 5 pick, though, is the problem.
It's going to be a top 2 pick.
All right, so I don't think it's a top 2 pick, but I really like.
Top 1?
We traded a. Yeah, I think it's the top 1. No,
If it's just the Browns pick.
We traded a first round pick. We have another first round pick. We traded it to get Will Anderson. I love the trade.
Then give up the other first round pick. Don't give up your own top 5 pick.
No,
Wait, y'all didn't give up the Browns pick?
No, they gave up their own.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Hey, you know, A&F, maybe this will be good. Maybe this will stop y'all from trying to tank again.
But we're
Unsuccessfully.
y'all are the ones that need to be focusing on the tank, all right? Because y'all have M1 Abrams written all over your team.
Even fucking tank appropriately.
This is actually good. This is like the episode of Nathan for You, where he gets the weight loss program going and makes people take embarrassing pictures of themselves, like pre-sealed and like gonna be dropped in a mailbox unless they drop 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And it's like a motivational tactic, and it works. Like 75% of them have dropped the weight.
Look,
So the Texans are out here just dropping their picks so that they don't
Yeah.
have any incentive to lose 15 fucking games again.
look,
Which is going to happen organically, which is like way healthier for your culture.
all I have to say is this: is the Texans draft was bold. We acquired elite players, and if you don't like that, like I really don't know what to tell you. I thought that was the point. I thought the point was to draft elite players. I thought the point was to get players that win football games. The Texans did that. They have
It was like a
they,
mid.
They still
like a
have
mid. Like,
what? What was that?
It was like a decently mid. It was like a decently mid linebacker that y'all just
A
paid so much
decently
for.
mid linebacker. Curran, whenever I
Yeah,
hear
he's
you
fine.
evaluate
He's fine.
players, it's just wonderful. I just
To say that
love-
Jahmyr Gibbs is a historical talent and then not act like Will Anderson is good is a bold.
questionable, to say the
Isn't
least.
he like
look.
my size? Isn't he like 6'1" or some shit?
It's actually we traded up for Andy Waters. The guy just brings a lot to
Here's
the
what I
fucking
was saying.
table. He has so many tools in the trenches. We fucking love Andy, and we really like what he brings to the franchise. So he's going to be around for years and years. Can't wait to see him on the field.
Well, here's the parallel I drew for Waters and Peyton Jr. here. Imagine if it wasn't this guy. We don't know who he is. Imagine if it was Sauce Gardner, defensive rookie of the year. Would you trade all of that to go get Sauce Gardner?
No.
That is
It's a lot
so
to get
dumb.
Sauce Gardner.
That is so dumb. Obviously, the answer is yes.
I mean,
Well, for you, it has
I don't
to
see, right?
It's literally not.
Okay.
The Jaguars were in that exact situation, and they paid to get Ramsey off their team.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a really good organization.
Like, would you do that whole trade? Like, would you do that whole trade to go get Micah Parsons?
Kern, what phone do you
I don't
have?
think you do. The best one.
It's the Motorola Razr. They're actually sponsors of this episode of the show. Thank you, Motorola.
It's like the sidekick he's using right now.
Yeah, he's actually using the Nokia cereal box phone.
I was using my AirPods. Not taking them off.
You sound amazing, Kurt. Even though what you're saying is not amazing. What was that, Mr. Waters?
I just do want to lob one comment in your defense, and I'm done forever. I do think the comparisons or the takes or the rhetorical questions asked about like what fucking existing player in the NFL would you trade this many picks for? Like, it just fundamentally ignores the concept of team control. Because if you're making this trade, we're lobbing out there Sauce Gardner, you're getting one fewer year of Sauce, considering that he's already played a Rookie of the Year season. What you're doing with Will is you're getting that extra year. So, yeah, I get it, but anyway, it's a bad faith tactic to not include that extra year of club control when you're talking about like comparisons to other trade packages.
Kern was saying it as if you could have drafted Sauce Gardner.
Yes. Yeah. I figured he was, but like I'm criticizing like the motherfuckers on Twitter who were like, I wouldn't even trade this for Aaron Donald. It's like, well, yeah, we know.
Yeah, you get the Aaron Donald contract and shit. Yes, no, I wouldn't do this trade.
Juicy contract.
I wouldn't do this trade if you knew that you were getting an extra year out of Sauce with the trade. If it was like, hey, we're going to give you Sauce and we're going to pay for the extra year or however you could work it, I still think it's hefty.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I just think that
you do it for like Caleb Williams.
There's a certain framework that you have to look at it through, and even then they come up fucking dumb as hell. But
yeah, you do it
for
the
like right
Caleb
way.
Williams or like an elite difference making player, like just a fucking quarterback. I don't even know if you do it for wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean the Commanders literally are like talking about not picking up Chase Young's 5th-year option right now. Like he's your best case scenario for Will Anderson.
Exactly.
I don't. Anyway.
For sure, you could pay him, like several $100 million. So then, like he's just a guy on defense.
I forgot this. The pick we traded away was probably the GOAT, and Will Anderson is going to do nothing but suck dick all year and for the rest of his career. Well, what was Nick Casario thinking? What a Dumbo
No,
take.
you're right. You're right. The Patriots dynasty really started when they traded for Chandler Jones. That's what it was. It was they paid that premium for a fucking pass rusher, and that's when shit started popping off. You're right. You're right.
So what I do have a question. I don't like looking through this lens, because I don't think it's necessary and I don't think it's important.
Because you don't like what you see?
No. No. Like I don't like. I see Texans fans, or people that are looking at the trade to be pro-Texan on it and saying through the lens, and they go, well, actually, it's really a trade for C.J. Stroud. Is what the common line has been, that it's actually a trade for Stroud. And so let's say, just hypothetically, the Texans pick Will Anderson at 2, which is what I thought was a possibility. That's what I think the majority of people thought we were going to do. So let's say we pick Will Anderson at 2. So let's say we pick Will Anderson at 2, and then the trade is for the pick at 3, and it's Stroud. What are y'all's thoughts then?
It wasn't.
Okay, but
it wasn't. Yeah,
But if you would have done that, yes, they would have asked for that price for Stroud. If you guys would have taken Will Anderson too, yes, the logic does hold.
Possibly more.
Yeah, so that's what everyone is saying is like they push their glasses up on their nose and they say, well, actually, it's actually a trade for C.J. Stroud, and there's like a lot of questions with that. Like it's like, well, so what do you mean? And so like when that's been fleshed out, obviously none of it has been fleshed out by the Texans organization. They have not said anything about this. This is all just Twitter experts, and they've said like, well, you pick Will Anderson or you pick C.J. Stroud. That way, like, no one calls with, like, a better deal to move up to get Stroud. I don't really follow that, but that's, like, the line of thinking.
Wait, you don't follow that?
No, I don't, because then, like, because that's saying, like, that you're picking Stroud to keep the price down, but you're still assigning the price as if it was for Stroud.
Because you're fucking stupid. That's not you, the Texans.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because you're fucking stupid. I know, you bought the grocery store out of steak so that people would be forced to buy beef, and then you fucking paid steak prices to the people for the beef that you fucking passed on because you spent all your fucking money on steak.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't. I don't know why people are trying to reason with that, because it isn't reasonable. So I just think that's the price for.
No, because you already had that value in your arsenal when you were going into the draft. Like, you already had C.J. Stroud.
Right. Exactly. So my thought is, and has been, is that
that's some major coping.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've not been on that trade at all. My thought has been since the trade happened, like, that was the price for the 103. And if Stroud was there, it would have been a heck of a lot higher, was my thought.
I thought you just said you didn't follow that.
Well, right, like,
what were you saying you didn't follow?
I didn't follow the idea of, like, oh, well, the trade was actually for Stroud, and the price is the price that Stroud would have been. Well, that's not true. The price for Stroud would have been a lot higher. I
thought you were saying the opposite. I thought you were saying the idea of the Texans taking Stroud to drive the price of number 3 down didn't make sense.
No,
okay.
that makes
Never mind. All right. We're on the same page.
Exactly. Yeah. So my thought was not that, like, oh, we actually paid the price for. Like, no, we paid the price for Will Anderson. If the price was for Stroud, it would have been a lot higher.
Right.
Whether the Texans traded for that pick or another organization, it would have been a lot more than what the Texans paid out. Or at least that's my opinion. That the price for Stroud would have been higher than what the Texans paid for Anderson. So, all of that to say, I loved our draft. I get it that you gentlemen did not. Also, keep your eyes on Dell. I can't draft any more Texans players onto my Fuckfest team, but Dell's going to be a hell of a receiver. U of H going to the Texans. Last time that happened, Case Keenum. And I don't need to tell Saints fans that, I mean, generational talent. So, NCAA record holder Case Keenum.
I'm a big Tank fan.
How could you not?
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to have the same amount of red zone success
All right,
in the pros.
Here's a quick question: Do you have Tank Dell or Jahmyr Gibbs? Pick one. Anyway,
Ooh, tough.
Yeah, yeah, that is a tough one. So I guess my next question would be, because I've most of my draft focus was on the Texans, and I was just very caught up in a very celebratory, very busy round one. Which teams do you think for fantasy got more appealing, and which teams really just got a lot worse for fantasy?
The Jets.
Yeah, Lippy, are you happy with that? You have to be, right?
Like I was talking to Neil about it. At the end of the day, if last season would have been better for the Packers, it'd be harder to move on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, since last season went the way it did, and it just feels like it's not going to work anymore, it feels like it's time. And ultimately, we got a second round pick plus next year's second, which turns into a first.
Yeah, I mean,
if he plays at least 65% of games,
it's a first. Yeah.
So a first and a second for a guy who's going to play 2 years, I'll take that all day.
Does anyone think the Jets really overpaid for that?
It's worth it if they go far.
Are they going to go far? Who's calling for Jets in the Super Bowl?
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, Rodgers is still
are
good.
Pretty bullish. I don't know if he is.
I think he is. I mean, the Jets are way better team around him also.
I mean, yes, but that's a very low bar, and I don't really understand if Rodgers was still good, why those Packers teams were so bad. I mean, they weren't great around him by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, it's not like he was playing behind Justin Fields' offensive line. I mean, he definitely had struggles with the rookie wide receivers of the year. The lack of weapons hurt him, but I don't know. I didn't see the same Rodgers that I've seen in previous years.
This is like 2 years ago when he won the MVP award? Like, he's not that far removed from being really, really good.
A cliff's a real thing.
2 years ago?
38 years old, though.
I thought it was 2020.
I thought it was 21. I could be wrong.
I don't remember. I think he had a bad last couple of years, though. Like, by his own standards, of course.
I mean, I know he was bad last year.
2020 and 2021, he won MVP, both years.
Oh, see, that, I mean, like, I understand
famously wrong.
That there's a cliff, and he's due to fall off of it. I think last year was a lot of injury-riddled season, which, you know, is a concern, sure, but, like, I think when healthy, he's still capable of being good for those 2 more years, such that it's not an overpay. You know, like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I guess I'm just not that concerned.
No one's ever been sad moving on from a 38-year-old quarterback. And the compensation we got, it's good compensation.
Could you say
to the Pats?
I was going to say, could you say the Patriots were sad?
I don't. Are they, though?
They have to be.
I mean, they would have liked compensation. If they got a first and a second for Brady, and now Brady's retired 2 years later, would they be happy?
I mean, I don't know. I think
better than not getting anything for him. I mean,
they got a ham and cheese, but interesting. I thought that I obviously understand. Like, the Jets are wanting to compete. They're wanting to compete now. They have a good team surrounding Rodgers. I'm not saying the Jets are going to be bad. I think they're going to be pretty good. But you know, they have what very well could be argued is, as of now, the toughest division in sports. Does anyone think that's a stretch? I think it's just going to be really hard for the Jets to do I think they're going to make the playoffs? Probably. But at the same time, I mean that's a crazy division. The AFC itself is fucking insane. Like if people are saying like the Watson is people are way down on Watson, that means the Browns are going to be better. People are saying that Russell Wilson's going to be better. Then you have the AFC West as a whole to tend with, minus the Raiders.
You haven't even mentioned Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar.
That's what I'm saying. Like the AFC's fucking nuts, and so I totally understand. Like the Jets have a window that they're working with the rest of their players. But it's just like it strikes me as so silly for AFC teams to be like, holy fuck, we have to compete right now. Because it seems like the worst possible time when everyone over the NFC is just over there holding their dicks. Like, it seems impossible to get through the AFC for any of the teams. Like, even the Chiefs, like, are they going to be able to do it again? Because there's so much competition, and winning in the NFL is very hard at any given Sunday, blah, 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 blah.
Oh my god, we didn't even mention the Bengals.
Yeah.
Who arguably got way better through the draft. Jesus.
Exactly. Like the AFC is nuts. Like the division the Jets are in by themselves is crazy. Like winning that division. Do y'all think they win the division? Do y'all think they beat the Bills?
I don't know,
no.
But like,
fuck no.
What's the alternative though? I mean, because like Allen is not old, like Tua is not old. And he could be replaced, sure, but like Burrow, all these guys are super young, so like it's not a situation like if you just wait it out, like you probably got 2 regime changes in the 10 years before those guys are done. So I mean, you got to I kind of get feeling like if our team is good enough to compete at a high level, going for it, because the alternative is just like being mediocre for the next 10 years, which isn't great either.
I guess my question, or if that I would pose to Mr. Jets, is like, let's say, obviously the hope is right that you are really good for let's call it optimistically 2 years. Is that fair? Like, I don't think the Jets, even in their wildest dreams, are assuming 3 elite years of Rodgers. Maybe I'm wrong when I say that, but that would be my assumption. But it's like you've got 2 years where you're probably not going to go all the way, and then you're left with what? And
that's why.
Yeah, like, and then you're still fucked. Like
the thought process that they just give up what they gave up to just move up to 3 and get Anthony Richardson makes sense.
Yeah, that's like why don't you trade for a younger quarterback? I don't know. I just think that, I mean, obviously Rodgers is probably going to throw for a fuckload of. He's gonna. I'll tell you what he's definitely going to do. He's going to sell a dickload of tickets and jerseys. He's going to sell a lot of hot dogs and beer. And you know what? Hey, they're probably going to make playoffs. But they were about to make playoffs last year, and they had one of the fuckiest quarterback situations in the NFL. I don't know. I'm probably being too low on Rodgers, too low on the Jets as a whole. I just think it was kind of a dumb deal for them to go out and get him. Like, obviously their quarterback situation needed tending to, but I just didn't think that's how they should have dealt with it. I don't know. I'm probably being a Jets hater.
It's fair. I guess I'm looking at like it's kind of tough. Like I don't think their owner would have been on board with them giving up a bunch to go get another unproven rookie quarterback in the draft like Richardson. Look, as Andy said, I love Richardson, but they just swung and missed on Wilson. So I
right after
feel like their owner. Yeah, so I feel like their owner would not be on board for that. And then the only other like veteran that like is available that would really get people going, like you can say Carr if you want. I think they kind of lost the bidding on that, but the only other one is Lamar. And while I also love Lamar, like I think there's a large contingent of people who have their doubts about Lamar's abilities.
I mean,
like both not just fans, but like this.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just saying, aren't there quite a few people that have quite a few doubts about Rodgers at this point?
Yes, but I think you can say, well, look, this guy 2 years ago was an MVP, back-to-back MVPs. Like, I think there's probably enough there that an owner could be like, yeah, this is a risk we're taking. And the asking price for Rodgers was lower than Lamar. So I think it's a combination of those things.
But by how much, though? Like, did Lamar, like, to sign him off the tender, or the restricted or whatever it
It'd be
was.
2 first-round picks.
Well, isn't that almost what they're doing for Rodgers for a similar money per year basis? Because like what it was a second this year and a first next year, so it's almost it's very close to just why didn't you get Lamar? I don't know. I would have preferred Lamar. If I'm a Jets fan, that's what I wish we had done.
Oh, for sure. But I think if you do that to give I think the notion around Lamar was if you did the whole because one, the Ravens could match whatever, and so people didn't want to do the negotiating for them. But then if you do an offer that they can match, you're basically doing the fully guaranteed deal that nobody wanted to do. So I think there were factors that let that not be a realistic option. But I agree, I would have done that in a heartbeat because I think that would have been like y'all said. That's more than a 2-year plan. That's a multi-year fix. And so I definitely would have gone that route.
And like first of all, I'm glad we kind of have met eyes here, but also in a way, this might be really overthinking it, but you're taking away another AFC team's good quarterback. Like now the Ravens don't have Lamar. That's one less team you have to go through the fuck gauntlet that's going to be playoffs. Just makes a lot of sense to me. But that part probably should really be baked into the value. But
is anyone actually scared of Miami this year?
I think you have to be. I think that team could.
Do you?
Yeah, you do. That team can score so many fucking points. Yeah, and the defense isn't terrible. The defense is pretty good. You absolutely do. Now, you obviously the question for the Dolphins is like if they can go the distance, not if they can win games.
It stinks of a 10-win at best team.
That's great. That puts them in the playoffs with a shot to win. I think that's 10 wins would probably be higher given that division. I don't think they're going to get to 10 wins, but I think they'll be right there fighting for a wild card. And then I don't think any team, not that they want to play any other teams in the AFC, but I don't think any team wants circles the Dolphins say that's who we want in the playoffs because that team can blow the fuck up. I don't know. Anybody else?
Do you really think Tua's surviving a full year? I'm not trying to be like
no, I know.
Troy or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's the question, right? Can they go the distance and make it to that point? But if they can, that team is terrifying in the playoffs, big time. That's a problem. I don't know.
Yeah. If Kyle Pitts could get 180 targets, he'd be a terrifying fantasy option. But I don't know, man. I don't like the Tua situation. I don't. I feel like if it were I don't know how to phrase it because it's never going to be resolved. It's always a risk of re-injury. But I just feel like there'd be a lot more noise coming from the organization if they were really confident that he was going to be the long-term answer. There's a lot of questions, not only in the media, but I don't know, man. I feel like this offseason has been a good opportunity for them to be like, it's Tua, here are the steps that we're taking to address. Please don't find us more draft picks. We are trying to keep his brain from turning to mush. And there just hasn't been anything. It's just weird to me.
Not to regress back to the Jets. Did y'all see the smoke that they were willing to take Gibbs with a late first-round pick and trying to get him there?
That makes a lot more sense than picking him at 12.
But with Brees, that was just interesting. That's all.
I don't. We saw so many rumors and sources and bullshit. I believe literally nothing anyone says from league sources ever again. And it's just such a crock of shit. And I could tweet right now Will Levis actually was close to being taken by Al Qaeda in the first round. It's just ridiculous, just the absolute nonsense that's been spewed this draft season.
Yeah. Did you hear that rumor that the Seahawks were fucking thinking of taking like a fucking running back in the second round.
Yeah, like it's just
like they're gonna take some Zach Charbonnet dude. I mean, they've already got Ken Walker.
That's so ridiculous. That I think y'all hating on Ken Walker is going to age poorly, Mr. Waters.
Oh, I'm not hating. I did hate.
I don't think Charbonnet is going to hurt Walker whatsoever. Did you all see that the Colts were going to take Will Levis, though, if Anthony Richardson went before 4?
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I don't think that's true at all. There's no way. I just don't think that's true at all. I think that was people coping with the fact that they had said, "Oh, this guy's going first," and they're like, "Oh, wait, but I know he did go in the first round, but he was about to go at 4." That's I don't buy any of it. Maybe I have become too jaded to the real stuff because of all of the bad, but that it got way out of control, and it has shown just what absolute horseshit sports quote unquote journalism in quotes is. Absolute tomfoolery. But I don't see that changing at all. It's probably going to get worse. But okay, a quick cue. We've talked about receivers. We've talked about quarterbacks. We've not mentioned a single receiver that went in this rookie draft. Not a single one, fellas. For instance,
can I get on the record on the quarterbacks real quick before we move on?
Please do.
Bryce, future MVP candidate.
Okay.
Stroud, really, really, really good. Okay. Going to beat the Titans' ass for years. Anthony Richardson fetched a bunch, and then Will Levis is just a fucking joke of a wet fart, and that's it. Carry on.
So before we move on, I was so sad, Andy. I thought like all of these things about, the Texans are going to take Levis at 2. I was so bummed, and Lippy and Curran were texting me like, "Oh, hey, NF, what are you going to do with the Texans pick Will Levis?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm really going to be excited for like a new quarterback, and obviously he's not my favorite, but I'm going to be really happy about it." And in my head, I'm just like, I will be so fucking devastated if we pick Will Levis. But I'm really glad that's not what Nick Caserio did. But yeah, I don't know. Lippy, talk to me about some of these receivers. Tell me why we're staring at a fantasy draft in Apex Empire League, and it's a rookie draft, and we're at pick 6, and no wide receivers are off the board. What in tarnation is this?
I mean, it's pretty simple at the end of the day. When you have 2 running backs get top 12 draft capital, mixed with the 3 quarterbacks going top 4, you're going to get to pick 6 before you see a wide receiver. I mean, I don't think anyone really hates on JSN. After that, I'd like to hear what Andy thinks, honestly, because Johnson, I feel like he should be better, and I was already burned once with a TCU wide receiver over someone drafted from Minnesota. So, I don't know. I feel like you got to go Addison or Flowers and kind of take like the opportunity, especially. But at the same time, you have a rookie wide receiver who's linked with Herbert probably for at least 4 years. And is Mike Williams really an alpha?
He's not.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you have Jay Jets as an alpha there in Minnesota, and Zay Flowers. A lot of people like him a lot. Do you like him enough to be a cornerstone of your dynasty team? Probably not.
I kind of do. I like Zay. I like Zay a lot. I think he is special. He's like Debo mixed with Tyler Lockett. I don't really understand how he does what he does. Because I mean, he's only like 5'9.5" on a good day, but he's like 190 pounds now. I think he claims that he gained 10 pounds in advance of the combine. But I mean, he was small, but he played big at DC. And that team had nobody. There was no excuse for him to put up all those yards. And there are a few college players that I can remember who really like you know what I'm talking about. Like there's college players who dominate, and then there are
Rondell
college
Moore.
players who, and then there are college players who make people look just absolutely foolish.
Rondell Moore.
Zay is the latter. Rondell missed like an entire year due to injury, and then has had the exact same issues in the league. And Rondale was a yak guy who didn't have the deep threat component to his game. I didn't see, at least I don't remember seeing Rondale working from the outside and winning downfield on those deep routes where he wasn't just like schemed open ridiculously. I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched Purdue fucking highlights, but I think Zay is legit. Zay is he plays big, but he's so small and elusive. I just see like shades of a hypercharged Debo. I'm pumped for him. But I also really like Quentin. JSN is fine. I think the hype for JSN got way out of control. I love that Heartline thinks that he's really good or whatever, but
I mean, that Rose Bowl was absolutely absurd 2 years ago. Utterly insane.
Yeah, that's one game. I don't know, man. That's one game. I'm not
putting up nearly 300 yards as a receiver in any game is absurd. Doing it in the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, I don't know. Bowl games are, if it's not in the playoff, I don't really know how much they care anymore. It feels like you can get into exhibition territory a little bit. But
you said you don't trust in games that are played at the Bell Helicopter Air Force Bowl. But
unless Tajay's in it.
let me ask a quick question. So 5 players off the board in this draft. Just using this one as an example, because I think Fuckfest will maybe different orders, but we'll go almost identically, if not identically. Which of these players?
I can tell you Gibbs ain't going 1.02 in Fuckfest. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
I can tell you, Alexander, we talked about it. I think Hoop goes JSN number 5 no matter what.
I agree. I think he will as well.
Hoop loves receivers.
I don't know if I've ever seen him draft a running back ever in my life. But my question would be, of the 5 that have gone so far in Apex Empire League, of being Bijan, Gibbs, Richardson, Young, and Stroud, which of those players do you think is most likely to that you'll regret having drafted over any of those receivers, of those kind of top 4 guys? The answer is Gibbs. That's who you're going to regret drafting.
It feels like a no-brainer to take those 6 over.
Really?
It goes 5 over JSN.
Really? Oh.
It's so easy to take them over.
Come on now.
You're saying you would way rather have JSN than Gibbs?
No, other way around. I think it's a no-brainer to take Gibbs over. Yeah.
No, I'm asking ANF.
Oh yes, me yes. I think Zay Flowers. I think
JSN. I tracked with your Gibbs hatred.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Like, what do you mean? Come on now, that's silly. I mean, obviously, if you're drafting for team need, it's a little different, but like just like in a mock, or a startup, if like a rookie where no teams are attached, that seems crazy to me. But because I agree with everything you're saying, I think Zay Flowers is fucking awesome. I would be so excited to have him on a fantasy team, especially a dynasty. Like I think that guy's gonna fuck really hard. You've got Lamar on a new deal with like, but I'm really sorry. I'm not sold on the Rashad Bateman experience. So I think that there is such a great shot of Zay Flowers being awesome. I think there's a good chance that in time JSN's going to be an elite player. I think obviously his opportunity is a little low to start, but that pick is going to age awesomely in Dynasty. Like that, he's going to be so huge because I think he probably will drop because of landing spot. And by drop, I mean like to the 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. But I think that's going to appreciate out the wazoo. I don't know. I guess this was actually just another tangent for me to say I don't like Gibbs. But I clearly need more opportunities to say that. He's going to beat me in every matchup for the rest of time now. So that'll be my reward.
ANFL will say this: if Gibbs goes for over 50 in Apex auction, that's a
I
redraft auction, Andy. That'd be
would laugh
shocking.
my motherfucking ass off
That'd be
because
shocking.
that would be worse than Acres for 40 this year. Not close.
Gibbs, man, I don't know. I would be inclined to go harder on him in
Oh no.
In redraft, considering Monty's there, I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no.
a fourth of your budget on that. That's
You're
rough.
such a smart guy, and then you say stuff like that. What?
Listen, I'm a dumb guy, and the smart stuff is saved just for this pod. I'm running out.
Okay, let me ask a dumb question then. There have been a fair share of silly billies that draft tight ends in the first round of the NFL for some reason. I have no idea why people do this. But Dalton Kincaid went in the first round. What are y'all's excitement levels for Dalton Kincaid?
I'm all in. I love that fucking kid.
So,
I mean, Kincaid, honestly, Musgrave, Meyer. It still takes time, but it's going to be fun.
Okay, so here's my question about Kincaid, right? What is he going to do that Dawson Knox didn't do?
He's going to be younger and play with Josh Allen for longer.
Didn't Knox start like right around when Josh Allen got to the Bills? Am I crazy? Like, am I just wrong?
No, you're right.
So, like, what exactly is going to be different here? I don't know.
What are you asking? What are you talking about?
I'm saying, like,
he's saying what's the difference between Kincaid and Knox?
Yeah. Why should I care about Kincaid at all?
You should watch him play.
I mean, Dawson Knox has some fire highlight film. Some great stuff.
He doesn't.
No, yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He really doesn't.
Okay. All right.
He really doesn't.
Oh, okay. Okay. He's horrible. He's just the worst. He's
fine. I mean,
he's
600-yard tight end. That's impressive in its own right. But I mean, Kincaid is a bowling ball. He is Travis Kelce light. I don't like the comparison of Dawson Knox is just not even. It's not even in the same like area code. I don't even know. It's not even.
He was all Utah had, and no one could stop.
He was what?
He was Utah's passing offense.
Yeah, and it's not like he was getting like I don't know like he hooped on USC. He knocked them on their fucking dicks.
Didn't he have a 4-touchdown game this year or something crazy like that?
I don't even know. I watch him play. Cool. He is slippery.
Yeah.
He is tough.
Yeah.
He's a good route runner.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a slightly smaller Gronk.
Okay.
There are a few catches that he has on seam routes that are like, I've seen that before.
So,
2-touchdown game twice. Yeah.
Question. This Kyle Pitts fella, even more amazing stuff was said about this guy.
I'm still in on Pitts.
I think everyone is.
Are you?
ANF, how are you not in on Pitts still? Pitts is still 22.
Why would I? I guess let me say this. I reserve the right to change my mind, but I'm not in on Pitts right now. I'm not excited about Pitts right now at all.
Put Pitts in the rookie draft right now. Where would you take him, ANF? 22-year-old Kyle Pitts.
I'm staring at the 111, 112 on my screen.
Oh my god.
And I'm thinking that seems a little high is what is going through my head right now. We'll call
I
it,
wish you had his contract.
we'll call it the 112. That's where I'll
Jesus
say.
Christ.
Because I think the 2-1 that's too far.
To be clear, that means you're looking at Jordan Addison and Kyle Pitts, and you're saying,
Yes.
give me Kirk Cousins, wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
You're looking at Zach Charbonnet and saying, no, I want him over Kyle Pitts.
I very well might. For right now, I'm not saying Kyle Pitts, like in the future, as an older tight end, isn't going to have amazing value, but right now, fuck that. I'll pick up Devin Ozzy and fucking Pitts will score like what 6 more points a week than the goose I'm gonna get from Ozzy. Like I just don't really like have any like I'm not like wow this team. You know what it needs right now? It needs Kyle Pitts. No team needs that right now. Obviously, later he's gonna be really cool, maybe, but like. I just have no interest in bringing him on board for, like, as I just said, the 111 in a rookie draft seems steep to me.
So, can I just quickly say my piece on Pitts?
Please.
Wow.
So, he posted the best rookie season of a tight end of all time. All time.
That's so cool.
With geriatric Matt Ryan at the helm, who, if you'll recall, lasted, I think, 10 games after leaving Pitts?
Yeah, I think
10 games?
I think it was week 10 or week 11,
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So there's that, number one. Number two, I may be wrong, but I think I saw that Pitts had a 29% target share in the Falcons offense last year without Matt Ryan.
And that's what he did with it. He had almost a 30% target share. And
here's that translated to 58 targets, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
34 of which were charted as uncatchable by PFF.
Word, yeah.
Uncatchable.
It's really bad.
Over half.
Yeah. That's not good. Okay, what's
what
happening
do you
this
expect?
year? What do you expect this year? What do you think's gonna happen? The same shit.
I'll tell you what's not gonna happen. Marcus Mariota is not gonna be throwing him the ball anymore. Or throwing the ball at him anymore, to be more specific.
Who's the quarterback for it? Oh, Ritter.
It's Ritter.
Yeah, that's what.
Which isn't great.
It's worse.
It isn't great.
It's worse.
I don't think you can say that because you haven't seen Ritter with Pitts. Remember? Pitts tore his MCL
so you're
3 games left in the season or something.
Your bet with this is that Ritter comes in is way better than I'm expecting him to be, but just generally, and then him and Pitts have this great connection. I am
not better than you expect him to be, just fucking not completely bottom of the league incompetent like Mariota was. I mean, look at Drake London's game log late in the year. 6 catches on 12 targets for 95 yards. 7 catches on 11 targets for 70 yards. 7 catches on 9 targets for 96 yards. 5 of 8 for 47 yards. 6 of 8 for 120 yards. I mean, that's 4 of his last 5 games of the season were 70 or more yards with 5 or more catches in all but one of them.
If you're going to have pieces on Atlanta, they're named Drake London or Bijan Robinson. That is the end of the list. I don't want anyone else. For the capital that would be required to go get Pitts, it is such a dud. D-U-D.
20.
But he gives you the positional advantage. I mean, London doesn't give you the fucking positional advantage.
Does Pitts give you a positional advantage?
If Pitts were putting up those numbers,
but
yes, it absolutely does.
He's not going to be. He's not going to be.
But he had the target share, which suggests that had he been healthy, he would have continued to draw the same percentage of targets. Once they had fucking Ritter in, all of a sudden those targets became productive. I'm just like, it's not hard to look at Drake London's game log, man. Like, it went from fucking goose egg after goose egg after goose egg for like 10 weeks to, all of a sudden this guy's showing like signs of a pulse. You know, I mean, that if you've got Pitts in there, that changes the equation.
I think that there's
Ritter does not have to be better than you expect. He just has to be better than Marcus Mariota, which is the lowest bar you can imagine. You know it's true.
That's if the limbo bar
literally
falls.
Just don't panic behind the line and throw the ball straight up into the air, like facing backwards. That's all he has to not do.
Yeah. Well, you might have
Alexander
there. Yeah. What's up, Luke?
I got one last question before I go to sleep.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you some guys. Would you take Gibbs over them?
Okay.
It's the big question of the day. Eckler.
I would take Austin Eckler.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
wait. Is this Dynasty or...
Yeah, Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, that was redraft.
Let's go Dynasty. We're talking Dynasty. Eckler.
I don't want to, but I will take Gibbs there. But it hurts. Okay. It hurts.
Hawkinson.
I'll take Hawkinson.
Kelsey?
Ooh, that one's hard. I'll take Kelsey and sell him, is what I would do.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Dak Prescott?
I'll take Dak.
Okay. Garrett Wilson?
I'll take Garrett Wilson.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're like a round and a half lower than consensus, like what ADP is for him. His ADP right now for him is 28, and I mean, that would put him at the 304, 305, which is CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott in the startup we just did.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't think I'm crazy. Like I say like a lot of pretty dumb shit about fantasy. I don't think this is even dumb. I really don't.
But in the RB landscape, I feel like it's a hot take. When you compare it to the others, like, I mean, if you're going Saquon, Eckler, I feel like saying Gibbs over them is pretty easy.
So,
Ramondre.
Gibbs.
Ramondre.
Gibbs.
It's insane, enough.
What about Najee?
Oh, take Najee.
Jesus Christ. Let's go to the next one on the list. Nick Chubb.
Oh, that sucks. Can I cop out and do the Kelsey thing where I say I'll just trade him and sell him for other shit instead?
You can't sell Chubb for more than you can sell Gibbs. Okay. Tony Pollard.
Oh. I think Tony Pollard's pretty good. I think Tony Pollard's pretty good. The only problem is like he's tagged, right? Is that correct?
I got no idea.
And he's like 26 coming off like a friggin' total knee reconstruction. Are you kidding me, ANF?
Okay.
That one's close. That one's close.
The Giga Chad.
The Giga Chad. Oh, I already told Kerr that I'd take Giga Chad. For sure.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
what about Dameon Pierce?
Please don't. That hurts my feelings. Because I'm going to have to say Gibbs, and it really hurts. But... Oh, am I? No, fuck that. If I'm wrong on that, that's just because I gotta be. Fuck it. I'll take Dameon Pierce, motherfuckers. Yeah. Hell yeah. Take a third round running back in an organization that just brought in Singletary. Give me fucking Pierce.
Jesus Christ.
All right, but I have to do that one. That one's not my fault. All right, I got.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
All right, give me two more, Lippy. Give me two more.
I mean, you got Mixon.
Well, he's. I mean, I don't know if he's playing any more football, so I'll take Gibbs there.
Dalton Kincaid.
I'm gonna lock in Gibbs there. I'll take Gibbs over fucking Kincaid.
What about Josh Jacobs?
Oh, I'll take Josh Jacobs for sure. That one's not close to me. Definitely, definitely. Are you? Would y'all take Gibbs over Josh Jacobs?
Hey, enough. As someone who you, what did you sell Dalvin Cook for last year? First round pick.
I don't know. Like yeah,
He was,
like a ham and cheese. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean Jacobs a year away from being the same age as Cook was when you sold him for ham and cheese.
Yeah, but
No, but
Josh.
if you remember, Josh Jacobs has already had a 375 touch season. Dalvin never did, so really, you shouldn't even be looking at a ham and cheese. It should just be ham.
Come on now, you can't be having a ham sandwich with no cheese. Look, I think. I mean, in my my pedigree of dynasty success should be testament to this.
Oh,
I think I've kind of.
I'm sorry. He had a 393 touch season. I'm sorry.
Hey, that means
That's 393.
That means they trust him, baby. But I think I have kind of a unique evaluation system of players. Is a very kind and generous way of putting that. But yeah, I'm so out on this guy. And fuck it, I guess I'm a Bijan hater too. I'm pretty out on him also, it seems. So
you're out on Bijan.
I'm not out on him. I'm just not. I think the hype tornado is crazy big on him. Like it's just like they're calling it an F5, and I'm thinking like, I mean, it's a tornado, but it's it might not make international news. Probably won't. I think he's going to be really good.
What do you qualify as like a disappointment for him? Are you going to say 1,400 yards is a disappointment?
I'd say it's a disappointment if he's not a top 8 running back this year.
I would, according to the hype, absolutely. You're going to have to pay so high for him, and he has to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I think he has to be RB 2 or 3 to not disappoint. But I'm saying like A and F, is that your sole criticism? Oh, you just think he can't live up to his lofty billing?
Well, yeah. So I think it's like a combination of two things, right? Because it's like half and half. I think and obviously, I'm an idiot. So when I watch like college players play, I have no idea how that's actually going to translate. But I watch him and think yeah, he's good. Do I think he's fucking incredible? No. And then on top of that, you've got like this guy's been crowned as the Dynasty 101 since last year. And I'm just like, what on earth are you talking about? The two parts don't equal. The two sides of the equation don't equal in my head. So I'm just like, I'm so out. Not because I don't think he's good, but because like I don't think he's as good as people are saying. And I think the price is crazy. It's just nuts. So
just out of curiosity, how did you feel about Zeke coming out?
Oh, I loved him. I loved Zeke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Lippy did just say he has to go. Waters, I won't keep you. This was really just very informative. I always love hearing everyone's takes, and we got to do a regular pod. It's been like 5 months since we did one. But hope you have a great evening, sir. Well, real quick.
Is it just us?
Yeah, Lippy just said he had to go.
Oh my god! I thought he was at least gonna give us a goodbye.
Yeah, I think he just straight went like that. Because you're the last one here, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with the people at large?
Yeah, I do. I'll censor them, but mainly I just want to go on record just decrying the virtue of Anthony Richardson. I've been on this I don't know, this hill. I've been dying on this hill since what feels like Christmas. Ever since Tate texted me and said, "Hey, he's plus 10,000 to go number 1 overall." But yeah, no, I mean he I'm sure y'all talked about it exhaustively earlier. Like, kid is just, we've never seen anything like him before. People are like, "Oh, he's not quite Cam." he's more than Cam. I don't think people quite realize. Cam was unique in that he was built like a truck and could withstand, crazy I formation design runs, drawn up by someone with the imagination of a second grader, for 200 times a year in the NFL, which is unique and incredible in its own right, but it's just not, it's not going to, I think there is a significant chance we look back on Anthony Richardson entering the league as like a just total fantasy league warping event, similar to Mahomes, where like people who didn't have the 1.01 ended up with this contract for the next 10 years and just like got ridiculous outsized production from it. And I'm not even on Anthony for the cliche reason that these lazy analysts are throwing out there is like, oh, this Russian's always going to give him the high floor. Well, yes, but not if the offense doesn't call designed runs, and not if they're trying to work on his pocket presence. There's more variables than just like, oh, he can run, therefore he will run, therefore he will be productive.
Yeah.
And I do think it'll be a struggle this year in Indy. I don't think it's going to be all roses at first. Yeah. He's going to make stupid mistakes. The media is going to pounce on them. And when I say stupid mistakes, I want to clarify that I'm not talking about mental errors and processing and the traditional things that you think of with stupidity. I'm talking like small, easily correctable things like his mechanics, his footwork.
He's going to look like a rookie.
He's going to look like a rookie. And there's nothing wrong with that. People will be very, very fast to write him off. Yeah. Fans of the pod will know that I am speaking from a point of pride in having to defend many a naysayer of Jalen Hurts for years.
That's true.
And I see the same kind of traits in AR as I did in Jalen. And that's not to say that they're similar passers, because they're not. AR is a wildly more I don't know. Jalen really did not develop his proclivity to keep his eyes up and look to pass first until late 2021 through 2022. Now he's firmly there. He is a pass first quarterback who also just happens to be one of the best running backs in the league.
Yes.
Anthony's already there. Anthony is pass first to a fault. And that's why a lot of people are, I mean, he has the arm arrogance that only someone with his arm talent could possess. And that leads to really, really poor looking plays and decisions at the college level for someone with as little experiences he had. And I just, a lot of people have latched on to these one or two examples of him just missing a wide open throw, underthrowing someone, or,
Yeah.
I don't know, like throwing the ball when he really should be trying to escape the pocket. All I'm trying to say is there are so many aspects of what makes a good NFL quarterback that he already has down that you wouldn't expect him to have down based on the way people are talking. And those things that he does already have down are generally the last things to show up for a dual threat, inexperienced quarterback. And so to me, it suggests that he is just, people have him pegged for high upside. I don't think they understand how high the upside is. He makes throws that only 2 or 3 other human beings on Earth can A, anticipate, and B, make. And on top of that, he is the most physically imposing athlete we've seen at the position since camp. Possibly more so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right, man.
I love that comparison. And you said that a few days ago in one of the league's chats that, he's just a better Cam. And Cam's one of my favorite quarterbacks that I've ever watched play football ever.
Oh yeah,
I loved watching Cam Newton play. Like, in some of, like, in the dog days following the the Texans' first fallout when we lost Matt Schaub, like the Panthers were the team that like I watched and rooted for in the playoffs because obviously
yeah,
we weren't doing anything, and I really wanted them
right.
to win that Super Bowl, um, but
They were weekly appointment viewing back
yeah,
then.
yeah. I mean, they're so much fun to watch, and Cam was fun to watch ever since he was a rookie. So
Yeah,
I was not thinking straight on draft night, and I was so happy that the Colts picked AR. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just like he's gonna bust super hard. Ha 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 ha. I was just absolutely on cloud nine about our draft, and I was so pleased. There's like been this like big
understandable.
sense of fear that has set in because I like it's just I'm the fucking Jesse meme for Breaking Bad. I'm really worried the Colts are going to get away with it again, and they're going to.
They are.
Yeah, like they get bailed out by these just incredible quarterbacks, and I am very scared because I think of all the places for him to land, could you ask for a better landing spot than the Colts? I really don't think so. I think that
I don't think so either.
yeah, I think that if
They've already got all the pieces in place on offense.
yeah, and I think the system that he's going into will be great for him. I think that they're going to be able to work with him, and those silly mistakes you were talking about will get corrected. So obviously we don't know for sure, but I'm terrified about him. I am actually glad.
Me too.
I'm glad that the Texans took CJ Stroud. I think he's going to be better for our team. But that doesn't mean I don't think that. I think Anthony Richardson is terrifying on the Colts. Like I am really, really worried about him just fucking us for years.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like Stroud is awesome. I would liken it to. I mean, they're not in the same division, obviously, or the same conference. But if Burrow and Fields somehow ended up,
yeah,
playing twice a year, it's like no one is sitting there saying that they'd rather have Justin Fields in Cincinnati.
right.
But like, are you thrilled that you have to play him twice a year? No,
you're fucking,
definitely not.
Yeah, you're gnashing teeth and pulling hair. Yeah,
Right.
So I completely agree with that. Because I went in. I had watched like a game he played in last year. Like I've seen one game, and then I went and watched some film, and I was just like, holy fuck, this guy's pretty good. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, and so then I started thinking about maybe some of this is just I'm a paranoid AFC South fan that is always worried about the Colts invading like the White Walkers, but I am very worried. I also think, I mean, for fantasy, he's going to be really good. What do you think? I know we were saying one more thing, and then go. But what do you think about the floors of those three guys, the top three quarterbacks? What do you think about their floors this year in fantasy?
This year, I think they're real low. I think they're real low. I think Bryce is the lowest of all by far. Which, of course, now he's going to just put up 3,500 yards and 22 touchdowns and 3 picks. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But I think Stroud weirdly has a higher ceiling. Just I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel like Bryce is positioned for success in Carolina. I don't
think so either. I think the DJ Moore trade really hurt that landing spot.
Yeah.
Like him being a part of the packages is what allowed them to get the pick, but it hurts the pick because that was in the package. So
yeah, like I could very easily see a situation where this is going to sound stupid, but where the Panthers win that division because Bryce is gutsy and leads some fourth quarter drives and all that late in the season and gets some deserved rookie of the year hype, but still throws a bunch of stupid picks, fumbles the ball a lot, maybe misses a couple games due to injury, and just as a result, isn't a super reliable, consistent fantasy producer.
Right. Which has nothing to do with actual NFL wins and losses. Yeah.
Exactly. And I could definitely see another rift developing between his perception as a fantasy asset and like an actual winner. And I don't really know who the last guy who kind of exemplified that split would be. I'm thinking like, maybe Matt Ryan. I don't really know, but I think there's a good chance that Bryce commits a healthy amount of turnovers, just adjusting to the size and speed of the pro game.
Yeah, but that's probably true of all three of those guys for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But I think Stroud is going to. For some reason, I think CJ is going to have a little easier time, probably due to his physical, his frame and his length and like height and everything. And like I just think he's one of the most accurate passers we've seen at the college level.
Oh man.
I think accuracy translates very well, and he's just going to have a little easier time than Bryce. That's really what it boils down to. So I think their floors are both pretty low. Stroud's is a little higher. He's obviously limited by a supporting cast pretty significantly for now, but that could change quickly. I know you're going to object.
How could you possibly say that about our receiver?
I know. I understand. But then with Anthony, man, I could easily see him putting up top 5 quarterback numbers by the end of the year. As more and more people on the defensive side of the ball start getting hurt, the team maybe finds a little bit of a rhythm in terms of the play calling suits his abilities. Kind of like how Lamar in his rookie year came in and, they're like, oh, we need to run this guy 17 times a game, and he'll, just pick up 100 yards one way or another, probably run for a touchdown or two. Like, I think they're going to get into that. They're going to experience those levels of success by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Again, I sort of inverse to Bryce. I think it's going to be like a best, despite his best efforts, they lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could just see a situation developing where Bryce is perceived as a winner, but bad for fantasy, and Anthony is perceived as good for fantasy, but not good for real life.
The same points that people parrot about Lamar. Or have
exactly.
Yeah, so that just another tangent, but that's kind of what has moved my mindset on Richardson. Is I was thinking, like, I was so frustrated with I'm going to call them by a single entity, and obviously that's not what they are, but I was so frustrated by the media and the media coverage of the events leading up to this draft and the draft itself. And I was I started to kind of like put that in my head, like, well, why was I so down? Like, I was trying to think to myself, when I was watching Richardson tape after the draft, I'm like, why was I so down on this guy? And it's because just like the echo chamber this year was crazy about a lot of the top picks. And I think probably along with many other people, were heavy drinkers of the Kool-Aid of like, oh, he's going to be a good fantasy quarterback, but he's going to bust so hard, and he's not going to get a second contract in the NFL. And I was thinking, like, I had not internalized that, and I was just thinking, I totally fell for it, and this guy's not going to be a bust. He's going to, I mean, obviously he could be, but so could they all.
He will be now that we said he won't.
Right, now he's going to suck gorilla dick, but yeah, like, I was just like, this is not based on actual fundamentals of football at all. This is just a talking point that people in a world where there's an absurd saturation of content creators with a heavy lacking of knowledge and actual mastery, have just started regurgitating talking point after talking point. And why make your own shit up when you could just parrot what you heard and got a lot of engagement? So
volume is king.
yeah, so I'm now properly terrified of Anthony Richardson and the Colts. But
have you? Are you an athletics subscriber?
I did in high school, but I haven't been with them in a while. So like I remember when they were first getting big, I was still in high school. And I'm like, oh, this is so awesome! Like they had like the $1 subscription deal.
Right. Yeah, they are no longer $1 now. But I would really highly suggest Ted Nguyen's work over there. He is like obviously his articles are behind a paywall, but he's free to follow on Twitter, and he posts a lot of good content on Twitter. And he makes these very easy to understand videos breaking down actual like mechanics and translatable, like tangible skills that he sees on film and just explains them in layman's terms.
Yeah.
And he just did an article on Anthony like last week, and it was like right before the draft, and yeah, man, it's terrifying. Like he broke down some of the errant throws that Anthony had at Florida, and he literally like zooms in on his like front foot, and he's like, look, his front foot is sliding, which prevents his hips from opening, which is why he had to overcompensate with his arm, which is why this ball floated on him, which is why the receiver didn't catch it. Like, it's like this is all. He like quotes a quarterback coach that Anthony's working with now, and he's like, the coach is like, yeah, like this stuff is all easily correctable. Like we've been working with him for like the last 2 or 3 months, and like it's already fixed. And then it literally cuts to a video of Anthony working with this coach, like playing, like running the same play, for lack of a better word, throwing the same route, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look, like all the mechanics are, it's all corrected, and the ball is just like, I mean, on a frozen rope into the receiver's hands, like, oh my God! Like if he gets to like where he is consistently employing these mechanics, oh boy,
it's gonna be scary.
Boy, but yeah, and just in general, I can't recommend Ted's stuff highly enough because he really is one of the few who actually watches stuff for himself.
Which
and the way that
rare.
You know that's true. Yeah, no, it is, and the way you know that that's true is that he will tweet honestly and be like, like if the hype train is taking off on Twitter on a particular day about a certain prospect that he doesn't know a lot about, he'll just be like, yeah, I don't really watch this guy at all, but like early impressions are that he's bad or good or whatever, and he like is not afraid to disagree with the consensus. And then he'll come back to it later and he'll quote tweet himself and he'll be like, just watch this guy. He's actually good or he's actually bad or like what he's just very
that is
very
honest. Severely lacking like like accountability and like any type of retroactive look, because I mean that's kind of a Twitter problem in general, but it's just sports is such a hot take type of media that it's just you know, obviously Skip and Stephen A are the forerunners of this disease, but I don't know. I'll have to look into that though. That's really cool because it would be much better if that was the norm for content. But it takes a lot of work and it actually takes knowledge, so probably not happening. But hopefully, by the time this is uploaded on the great internet, Hoot will have started the Funkfest draft, We're currently placing that at plus 69,000, but it was a great pot.